Good afternoon from Kirksville, Missouri. This is Randy Carbon, and this is Rantin Randy's Rant. We all know it's Thursday, so I'll just skip over to the date. Uh, I'm going to be starting from the back and working my way forward in this one too. I just wanted to ask my supporters when you see me attacked by my friends from high school. I will defend myself if I feel it's necessary to defend myself. Uh, we don't want to keep a long monologue going out there on any of my posts or anything else. Uh, I've come to the conclusion if it needs answering, hello, Lisa. If it needs answering, I will do that myself. Like I said, we don't need a long monologue with arguing back and forth with somebody. That that's what they want. They want to upset us and try to divide us with a lot of arguing with them. They have no points, uh, and if I feel it's necessary, I will take on with facts. Facts they can't argue with, and usually when you hit a good fact, they stop. Uh, when I feel it necessary, I won't even answer them at all because that's what they want. They want me to respond back. I don't have to, and I don't feel it's necessary. Let's go down through some of these stories. One of the first things I wanted to mention is the David Pakman show. Velda Snyder brought it to my attention, and what it's about, the David Pakman show was covering the debate on Twitch, and suddenly they shut them down, and supposedly CBS shut them down because of the live feed. They've done other live feeds, I'm sure, for CBS and other station or channels or networks. In any case, he did some research and found out that the address that was supposedly um, through CBS was supposedly uh, taking it down, and the legal department or company that was supposedly a legal department, their URL is non existent. That means one or two things. Number one, it wasn't CBS that did this. This was somebody else, some other group that decided to tell Twitch that CBS wanted them to take that feed off. Uh, Number two, it might have been CBS, but he's looking into that. And what he needs is legal help, and that means what he needs right now is more members to join, which I will do when I can afford it. I will get a membership. I've been watching David Pakman for years, and we don't need to lose a progressive voice out there that's pointing out all the lies that Donnie tells. And keep in mind, David Pakman is independent media. I get it on Free Speech TV. Most of the time, I watch his stuff on YouTube. But he does not need to lose an audience that he had on Twitch, and it will also mean uh, that they get one more hit and they're off there permanently. And I thought that was concerning at this time. Don't see a whole lot of people out there. Thank you, Lisa, for coming. Maybe someone else will come back in. I realize this is an unusual time of day. I've also started listing from coast to coast what time I will do my YouTube and what time I do my Facebook. If you're sitting out here, hello, Joe. Glad you showed up, brother. Um, If you're new to my shows, I want you to go down and like and share. Also, would like for uh, the new people to know, and the two I have out right now, they know when I do this. Two more have shown up. I see that up there, and one like. So uh, I'll try to get through this where I can get to the other news of the day. Um, I do Facebook on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I do YouTube on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I'm out here 6 days a week for the Blue Dot family to keep this thing going. The election we have coming up is the most important election of my lifetime and your lifetime. We have to get this right this time. And in order to do that, and I'm not throwing any cold water on any candidate, but there are some facts to be faced in this. If you've noticed, like some of us have, uh, Donnie is not putting down Bernie Sanders because that's who he wants to run against. Uh, in states that allow it, Republicans are crossing over, voting for Bernie because that's what Donnie wants. And then they can register as Republicans again to vote for him. Uh, that's not speculation, that's what's going on. I have heard Trump voters saying that that's what they were going to do in their state in the primaries. So they're trying to pick our candidate. And I'd just like to warn everybody about it. It's not only that, if you are a supporter and you are being attacked, that's Russian bots and Trump people out there bothering you. All right, let's move over to some other things. And I know this is rather depressing, but the bright point, well, it's not a bright point. Despite Donnie's lying out on the podium last night, stocks fell by 1,000 points again today. During his speech yesterday, it fell 100 points while he was speaking because what it is, they plain do not believe him. And if you'll look at it, he decimated the whole response team. And why? Because Obama came up with it and protected this country from a possible Ebola pandemic or epidemic. And he got rid of all of them. And the only reasoning behind it is Obama put it in place. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Takes a beating, but he keeps on tweeting. Let's see. Let me go down through here. Oh, also, the Republicans are so desperate in South Carolina. What they had come up was misusing a book, I believe, that was written by Obama 8 years ago, using the audio book and trying to make it sound like he said bad stuff about Joe Biden. Fortunately, from what I heard last night, they haven't run the ad, which was aimed at South Carolina to hurt Biden in South Carolina. And at least Obama's lawyers have contacted the Republican Party and told them to cease and desist, that they're not going to put up with that. That's a misuse of copyrighted material that they were trying to use. But see, they are desperate. They know if they don't win this time, there's going to be a bunch of Republicans and an ex-president that the day after the inaugural, his ass is going to jail. That's why they're so desperate now. It's called winning at any cost, because for him, they've got to win. Uh, we've known since the Nixon years they have no integrity. And Donnie has empowered that approach even more. Uh, and to top it off, there he is in a press conference about uh, playing down the danger, hoping that Wall Street would believe him. They haven't. This is I believe it's sixth day of a downward trend on Wall Street because he's lying to them and they see through it. Uh, People are scared. It's not time to panic over the coronavirus, but it is a serious matter. I wash my hands more. I'm using disinfectant cleaner wherever I can in this apartment. And we are next door to two of the patients are in Illinois. He also lied when he said there was 15 people. There are 60 cases in this country. But that's average for him. He has to lie about everything he does. And Pence is a bad pick. Pence was governor in 2011 through 2015 when they had uh, the needle exchange, which he handled badly. And there was an opioid epidemic going on at the time. And he point person on this. The worst person you could pick. But basically, Pence hadn't had any work to do. Shit. And I'll touch on this. Uh, Harvey Weinstein remains in the hospital because of his blood pressure and chest pain after the guilty verdict. His attorney says he is in shock and uh, doesn't understand how they reached the verdict. Oh, shit. You can't make this shit up. He can't figure out why. Let's see. All right. I already covered that. Oh, and I wanted to touch on this because we just got notice that we'll be on budget billing on electric. Uh, and I figured out why it is a lower amount at the low income that Grace and I have coming in. And I'll give you an example. He's holding up 37 million in emergency funds uh, for home heating for the poor. We just received help, and it was a good at least 100 under. And a couple of years ago, what we found out was this last winter, we made too much money because I was still working for the Salvation Army, so we didn't get anything. Uh, and this time it's about $100 lower, and that's why he's holding up funds on it. That's another thing to consider with this president. Uh, this regime is a bunch of kleptomaniacs and kleptocratocracy is how Putin started in Russia. Be warned, Republicans. This is what you've got. They're stealing everything they get and all the favoritism. It's going to be like the Soviet Union if he gets back in, because what they'll do, they're setting him up to be Putin in this country. The first thing they do is steal everything that's not nailed down, give it to their rich friends, which makes them even richer. They might as well, back up a Brinks truck because that's what they're doing. They're stealing everything they can get. In the meantime, He's putting down, tearing down the institutions, stepping into the justice system like it's his. Because basically, Republicans, that's what you told him, that he's all powerful, that he's a monarch. He can do anything he wants. And the Republicans, you're a part of it because you're complacent and let him do it. Then make your little excuses. Well, I think he's learned his lesson. Yeah, he learned nothing. He played all of you, GOP, as suckers. And you put up with it. All right. Got through that section. Let's see. I'll kind of quickly read through this. Oh, and by the way, yesterday he was lying, said there's 15 cases of coronavirus in the U.S., and the CDC confirms there are 60 total cases. We've just had our first, they can't figure out how the person got infected. That is not good. That can set up, and thank God we have a Democratic governor in California because they're trying to do something. I just saw an article that said they have already seen or checking 8,400 people for the coronavirus. They'll do something about it. Republicans don't care to do anything. Oh, and that's all that Gomer of Texas. That man's a lunatic. There's going to be illegal voting in Texas. Why do they drag that shit out every time? Because they know they cannot win without cheating. This will be more close down the poll, purge voters, get rid of registrations for Democrats and blacks and people of color and Latinos. Oh, shit. Can't make this shit up. It is getting serious now. First cases are popping up in new cases, and I can't list all the countries: Brazil, Romania, Germany, and Switzerland. I believe it was in Iran. One of their people in the top government is in isolation now. And Donnie's saying that he doesn't, it's not inevitable that it's going to be a problem. Right. Again, see, he was trying to bring up Wall Street, but Wall Street does not believe him. Let's see what else we got. Roger Stone case. Judge Amy Berman Jackson defending the jurors. That's her job. And it's to be looked at like some of us blue dots, not myself, but others have served in the service. When you do jury duty, it is your citizen duty to go in and do that jury duty. In other words, too, they should be protected. Donnie immediately was out tweeting again that the forewoman was biased in the case and that the judge is wrong. And juror number 3 has come forward to defend the forewoman, said that the forewoman was the last to vote for conviction in the case. She wanted to make sure they were doing the right thing before she even voted. But Donnie says she's biased. Damn. And I don't understand why it doesn't get through to you Republican voters that the man has no business doing that in federal cases. I don't give a damn that it's a friend of his. That shouldn't have anything to do. That's not what the scales of justice are about. You don't put your thumb on one side. This is my friend, so everything you're doing is biased. You need to wake up. I don't think you want to be in the dictatorship that you're setting him up for. Uh, and really, you want your president to be the judge and jury in all cases. And any case he wants to, he's going to jump his ass in it. And I just had to mention this. I think Mayor Pete Buttigieg is probably learned a lesson trying to attack the way he was. He deleted a tweet about the revolutionary political system he was pointing out in the debate. He was born in 1982. Okay. He doesn't remember the civil rights movement was a part of that revolution. And yeah, Bernie was involved in that revolution. And so what's he do? He deleted the tweet about it because I guess somebody, went up and went, Pete, you don't do that. That was the civil rights movement. And I wanted to go back. I saw this last, and that's the last thing I got for right now. Their president inflated the flu deaths in comparison with the coronavirus. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, I hope I didn't blow his name too bad, but the flu is at about 1% death from getting it. Coronavirus is already at 2 to 3% deaths. That's a 20% jump in deaths. So it's not even comparable. He tried to bring it up. And now I heard too that Trump is going after the New York Times again for, he says, for wrong opinion. See, he doesn't like a free press either. Everybody, like with Putin, has to be in the press. They have to agree with him. You can't have any negative press out there. Daddy Putin wouldn't be happy with it, for one thing. And I just went over, this I found almost amusing if it wasn't such a serious subject. Donnie was contradicted on everything he said by Dr. Anthony Fauci about the length of time it will take to have a vaccine. Donnie tried to make it sound like it's just a couple of months we're going to have a vaccine. Or Dr. Anthony Fauci said there's like a 2-month period. They can start getting some idea how they're going to do this, but they ain't led through. There's a 6-month period of this or whatever. In other words, he told the people right off the bat it'd be a year and a half. So that blew it, and Donnie was making faces behind him. Mr. High and Mighty. And it was also that Alex Azar, he had no idea that Pence was going to be appointed. And if you notice at the end of the interview, and Donnie was walking back into the rest of the White House, he said that he is still chairman of that he will work with Pence. but he let Pence know, as far as he's concerned, he is not in charge. Uh, and I'll wind it down with this. It was all to their president was speaking to Wall Street to downplay the coronavirus to push the stock market back up. Uh, and the truth is, Donnie doesn't care about lies. We got to keep that in mind. He's all about money because he's, like Putin, transactional. Well, that's about all I got for today. I hope I covered a good bit for you. Uh, I've always been amazed by the support that I get from this Blue Dot family. Let me say hello to a few people. Some of them are very new friends that I recognize. Hello, Don. Hello, Lou. And of course, in real time, I'll be able to go back and look at your comments. I can't respond to them except down below. But it is time for me to what I find hardest to do, and it should be easy by now. On my YouTube, I find this is the best way to present my post office box for, and your cards, letters, and your donations are always appreciated. They help me keep the lights on. They help me keep going. All of you keep me pumped up all the time, and that is a form of support also. You're nobody is a Blue Dot family member. It is not a requirement uh, for you to donate to my fight for our democracy, but it is greatly appreciated if I keep you entertained with Donnie, or that boy can take a beating and keep on tweeting. Uh, but if you can, it's appreciated. And the cards and letters are informative to let me know what's going on in your area. I can also be found by using paypal.me/Randall Curvin. That'll get you right to there. That's another way you can help me out. I can be found on Liker and MeWe, and I'm thinking very seriously of looking into getting on Twitch. Uh, we are being messed with by Facebook. I believe Facebook more than YouTube. YouTube, they don't seem to mess with it as much, but definitely uh, Facebook. There's too many times I try to make a comment on my Facebook rant show uh, to what you have left there, and it will put a little box about it. Try again. Then I try again a couple times, and it claims that it's been taken care of. No, it isn't. If it's still in a box, they're not letting me speak with that person in chat. Uh, Another thing is, I've noticed a good many people that send me PMs with a lot of the memes and different things. That support I was talking about. Uh, they are finding when they send it to me, I have to let them know it's already been taken down. It'll say attachment unavailable. A lot of times, what they claim when you get to the site, I'm not a part of the audience, but I've seen that on sites that I belong to, and it'll tell me that I don't have permission to do what I'm doing, commenting on something on a group. When I am a member, I know damn well I do. So Facebook's trying to discourage any way they can. I would also remind you, keep bugging Congress. Remind them there's a bunch of them going to go home. And I also will mention uh, Two for Blue. We're going to be saying who we will support. Right now, as soon as I can, I'm sending $2 to Amy McGrath and let her know we all support her. And we have to have Mitch go home. We have to take everything this time. That's why it's going to be, uh, no matter how much you are fond of your candidate, Blue Dots, when it comes down to it, you've got to vote blue no matter who. You can't sit it out. You can't vote for Trump. You can't be on the sidelines this time. This is the most important election of a lifetime. If we don't get this dictator stopped now, I would hate to think if he gets 8 years in there, we won't even recognize the country that we still got because he's taking freedoms away left and right and convincing states to follow suit with uh, being against dissent in a peaceful manner. This is the United States. We have the right to free assembly under our Constitution. But I wish I could leave you with a more optimistic thing. I'm working on a few little comedy things that I can do every now and then. I'm still working on doing some cartoon work and done it for years, but uh, I can't say it takes my mind off of Donnie because that's the subject I'm going to be working with. But it's relaxing to pick up a pencil and do something again. I also wanted to say something else about uh, the Congress and Senate got together, the Democrats did, and to say we've had enough of this gun violence. It's got to stop. And the only way we can do that is some kind of background checks, mental health checks, whatever it takes. I don't think it's a bad idea that people, I get a gun, I wouldn't mind. I've got a driver's license. Why shouldn't they have a license for that weapon? Oh, and I'll run through that. That was Milwaukee, Wisconsin. At least 6 dead, which I think included the shooter at the Molson Coors facility in Milwaukee. I thought it was getting to be strange that we didn't have one for a week or two there. Of course, a lot of it doesn't get reported. It's not big enough for them to report it because there's gun violence every day. Not to say anything about people that take their own lives because they can have a weapon.
Sorry.
That's all right, Grace. I'm winding up anyway. Um, have a good evening. Uh, Stay alert. Try to do what I'm talking about. Wash your hands. Use disinfectant cleaner where you can. Uh, Try to keep your hands out of your face. I heard that from a doctor last night. Uh, Unless you washed your hands, keep your hands out of your face because that's one of the portals to let in bacteria. Uh, this is dangerous, but we're not in a total panic yet. We'll have to see if it starts spreading in California. It looks like because of their governor, they're more on top of it than some of the red states are right now. All right, I'll let you go with peace. Resist and persist. And I insist that you keep calling and let's see if I can remember the House Judiciary Committee's number. 202-225-3951. You can look at the rewind on this. But I am pretty sure I'm right about that. We have to get Bill Barr. Somebody has to stop this man. He will let Donnie keep interfering in federal cases from now on. He talks one story, but he does another. He's guilty up to his neck now on what he's done in the past. All right, have a good one. I want you to go down here, like and share. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. We are the Guardians of Liberty and the Blue Dot family. That's what this is all about. And I will see you tomorrow evening on my YouTube show. Share this shit. I love you, America. I love this Blue Dot family. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right. Clear this side of the table off for me.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.